So you want to get into darts, but you're not sure how.
We can definitely help with that. We're A2ZDarts.com, and we've been a dart specialty store for over 30 years. We have the greatest variety of darts in the country. But don't worry, we can narrow down that selection for you, whether you're a complete beginner or a full-on expert. We developed our own Colonial brand to offer an inexpensive line of darts, dartboards, and accessories, so you can get into the game without breaking the bank. Join our amazing community by going to azdarts.com.
Hey, everybody. I would say good morning, but you know what? It's not morning. Good evening. Welcome to Coffee and Darts. I'm your host, Matthew. And tonight, we're going to be talking about some darts. Actually, we've got a couple of things to talk about this evening. So we will be welcoming everybody as they come in. We'll give it a minute or two. We did have some darts today, so we'll talk a little bit about that. I do want to talk about Mr. Littler, Nuke himself. I've got a little video that we're going to run. And I just want to talk about the situation of this teenage phenom, this young man that has come into this sports of darts, the dart sporting world this past year, and just really taken it by storm. So love to have a little chat with everybody. So please feel free to throw things in the chat, and we will talk about what's going on there. Yeah, so that's kind of it. I do want to give a huge shout out to Shot Darts. They have always been a good friend of the channel. I've always enjoyed their barrels. They are phenomenal. If you have not gotten your hands on a set of Shot Darts or taken a look at them, felt them, stolen them from a friend or two, make sure that you do that soon. They really do make an incredible barrel. Great company, great people out of New Zealand. Do a lot for the pub player, the grinder on the weekends, those of us that play tournament and league play but aren't necessarily CDC guys or so forth. They do a lot to help us out. So give Shot a shout, check them out. And of course, the guys at A to Z, or the ladies at A to Z, Jen Mounts and the team over there. I like keep my money here local, here in America. So I recommend buying from them. They do have pretty much everything under the sun. And if they don't have it, if you ask them, they'll find it. They'll get it for you. They don't have dart shoes yet, though. So, Jen, dart shoes, please. I don't have to pay for shipping. Thanks. All right, everybody, let's jump right into this. I want to talk a little bit real quickly about today's darts, at least what took place PDC. It was Players Championship 5. So there have been 4 currently. The first one was won by Luke Littler, and we'll see a little bit in the video of that. His very first Players Championship, he did happen to win. But today it was kind of like a senior tour type moment. If you guys were watching that or able to catch some of that, I know it's on a Monday during the day. It's a little awkward. Tomorrow is Championship 6, and that's again a Tuesday during the day. It's a little awkward. I'm curious, what do you guys think about these? Because I remember them always being on weekends and watch them on weekends. I don't remember a whole lot of them during the week, but I do have darts on, or some kind of sports event on a computer or a monitor or a TV in my office or in my garage office all the time. So maybe I'm mistaken and they were on during the week, but I always remember them being on the weekend and watching them with my son. So in any case, it was on today, Championship 5. But again, like I mentioned, it was kind of like the old man's club today. We saw really in the quarterfinals, let me just read this off to you. It was Raymond van Barneveld, RVB. So hopefully you know who he is. If you don't, go look. Check him out. He's been there, done that, retired again, and came back against James Hurl, a younger guy, but still RVB winning that. Then we had Gary Anderson and Peter Wright, both currently senior players. Stephen Bunting, another senior player, against Danny Norbert. Not a senior player, but still getting up there, but not really. Ross Smith, Cameron Menzies, Those guys are young guys. But then our semifinals, we got RVB against Gary Anderson. I mean, that's absolutely an old man's club going at it. RVB winning that against Gary Anderson, 7-6. It was like geriatric darts, but it was cool. It was phenomenal darts. If you didn't see it when it comes out on YouTube, watch that match. It was really a lot of fun to watch. And Stephen Bunting beating up on Ross Smith. And so we had RVB against Stephen Bunting in the final. You know, two older guys, two world champions in the final of Player Championship 5, with RVB getting the win. I believe that's his second win since coming back from retirement. I think he's only had the 2 wins in the last 3 years. He's done well in a couple of the Player Championships. He hasn't done much on televised events, but he's done pretty well in those. And so RVB taking the win today. So good for him. We'll see what he does tomorrow and see how tomorrow plays out. Let me know your thoughts on that, Scottish lad. Thanks, brother. Giving me a little bit of love, threw me a couple bucks. I really appreciate that. Hey, I got to say, I'm going to just sidestep here. If you have not checked out Scottish lad and his reviews and just see where he started at, not being in front of the camera, using his phone and just using what he had to get reviews done and getting better, adjusting this, adjusting that, getting better photography, getting better lighting, using better software, upgrading his computer, upgrading his logo, and just constantly tweaking to get better and better and better, and then jumping in front of the camera eventually. He does a really good job, a good perspective on darts and barrels, and he's just been blowing up over the last couple of years. Highly recommend that you check out Scottish Lad Darts channel. Check that out for sure if you have not at this point in time. Sorry, I'm choking to death. Larry, good evening to you. Eric E. Dub Robinson is in the house as well. How's it going, guys? Scott Carter. All right. So that's what we had today. Jumping back into it. What do you guys think about that? RVB getting a win. I think that's exciting. I think it's good for him. If you're not really familiar with these events, the Players Championship, if you're kind of new to this channel, if you're not totally familiar with what these are the grinded out tournaments, daily tournaments that the professional players play. This is where they really win the spot to play in a TV, in a major, the opportunity to get in front of the TV cameras and make some big money. So these pounds for a win on these. It's not huge dollars, but it is really getting the visual, getting the wins, getting the reps in, the working and playing with other players. It's where you do the grind. It's just like any sport. We see the cool stuff. Okay, so it's March Madness, right? And I don't surprisingly have anything Tennessee within reach. Now that I live in Tennessee and I'm taking a class from the University of Tennessee, go Vols. Like, I'm all about it. I got orange light here, orange light there. But when you think about like March Madness, or you think about hockey, baseball, any of that, those basketball, the season doesn't really start until postseason, like when we see the playoffs. Everything else has just been a grind to get to that. And that's how I kind of look at it, especially with hockey, because I think like playoffs, there's at least 3 months of playoffs and there's like 9 months of getting to the playoffs. Those are those sports, and darts is that way, where you've got to grind to get to the fun stuff that we get to see on TV. So making their bones. That's right. What's up, Jason Watt? What's going on, man? It's good to see you. All right, so that's what that is. If you're new to darts and you haven't like really paid attention to what's going on, or that those are during the week and you haven't seen them, that's what's happening there. But they've got, when I started watching them, there was 1 board, and then they went to 2 boards, and now they've got 4 boards. You can actually watch kind of multiple events going on, or multiple matches going on, which is a lot of fun. So I highly recommend, if you get an opportunity to watch some of those, to do that. So, all right, I want to jump into this video. It's about Luke Littler. I want to play this. I think it's like 5 minutes long or so. I'll be quiet during that. And then I want to talk a little bit about this guy. And I want to talk a little bit about your thoughts on this phenom, this essentially 16, he's 17 now, 16, 17-year-old that is really taking darts by storm and in essence changing the game by himself. He's pushing guys to practice more and play more and really have to work harder at a game that they've been doing for years. He's really pushing them, and it's exciting to see. You're going to see a couple of matches that he had. One in particular, it's a 9-darter, and it was super special. So let's go ahead and jump in and watch that.
I'm just a 17-year-old boy doing what he loves.
Luke's just transformed the way that darts is perceived in the public eye.
A lot of people reckon that he could be the next big thing. What a performance from Luke Littler. And Luke Littler is the world youth champion. Oh, is this the moment for the boy wonder? A star is born. What a performance!
There is no sign of this teenage dream coming to an end.
It's crazy.
Luke Littler by name, but right now arguably the biggest name in world darts.
I was happy winning one game, but I could go all the way.
Luke Littler has proven that he has got it.
People like to see good news stories, particularly those among young people.
Is there anything this young man can't do?
A sensational story. It is a dream debut in the desert for Luke Littler.
And Luke Littler makes it back-to-back World Series finals.
The lads are phenomenal. Special players do special things. He is very, very likely to do unlikely things.
First leg of my quarter-final game against Nathan Aspinall, and I struck the perfect leg.
We've seen what he can do with the World Championship, but this is just a different level he has to achieve.
You're saying that as if it's nothing.
Just went in.
But this is unbelievable from Luke Littler. Back-to-back 180s to start the match.
It's crazy to think that only me and Phil Taylor have hit one on the World Series, so but yeah, with that feeling of the double 12 going, it's always a good feeling.
Oh, it's on! It's on! And the first leg of the match, brilliant from Luke Littler! On his World Series debut, he got through the game yesterday, he's hit a perfect leg! Only the second time we've seen one on the World Series. Is there anything this young man can't do?
Pleased to hit my first televised 9-darter. That was amazing, and I think Nathan was more happy than me.
Tell us about his reaction there.
He was buzzing, he was probably more buzzing than me. And then he came up to me and he said, it's only a hold a throw. It's only the first leg. I went, I know. There's still another 5 legs to win.
How often do you hit 9-darters in practice?
Barely.
Really?
Rarely hit anyone in practice.
So for it to come out in your very first event, first leg.
And I always say it takes a few legs, and there we go.
I know you back your abilities, but that's a silly thing to have happened.
It went in. But like I said, everything's happening in such a short space of time, and I've took it in my stride, and I just get on with the next thing and the next opponent in my way.
A lot of people might think, it'll take a bit of time to settle in. Is it a 9-darter and won a title? I mean, do you think that this could just carry on?
It was just good to, like you said, get off to a perfect start, the first competition of the year, my first win, and obviously the first, well, another record broken for myself.
Have you got any more records you want to break?
Don't know what records I have to break, but I'll be happy to break some more if there is any.
And it is
Game
debut
shot
delight
and the match.
in the Players' Championship for Luke the Newt Littler after a sensational final against Ryan Searle.
It's going to be a massive confidence boost.
We had a great game, obviously. You beat me 8-7, I had 111 average. You don't lose many games like that, but I think that sort of shows how good he is, and nothing seems to faze him. And if you're going to beat him, you're really going to have to play well.
He's an exciting talent for the future, you know. This is only the beginning, and if things don't get to him and he carries on like this, I suppose we all got to try and raise the bar again.
He's shown us all how to play darts, and great story, brilliant for him as a player, and I wish him all the best.
I don't look at him anymore as the 17-year-old Luke Littler. I look at him as one of the best dart players in the world. Whatever happens, he's going to be one of the top dart players for the next 20, 30 years, that's for sure.
All right, there you have it. Head unmute there. Quick little video. I just cut up some pieces from the PDC. They actually have a video out talking about a couple of things, and those are pieces from that video. I want to talk a little bit about Luke and his impact on the game. We'll talk a little bit about Asp's reaction there, and I love his comment, as well as Ryan Searle there, shooting 111 average and yet losing to this teenage kid. He really is. He's just a kid. But I want to address one thing real quick. Scottish Lad asked if I was planning on getting back to reviews, and to answer that question, yes and no. And I was supposed to review a dartboard tonight, and I forgot it. I realized like 2 minutes before the show. I looked around for it and realized I had forgotten it at home. So yes, we will be reviewing product, but it's going to be during this show. I'm not going to be doing the reviews during the week. I just don't have the time capacity with the family and other things that are going on to be able to review product. Now, I will occasionally. I know Shot will probably send me some stuff. They mentioned that they would like to send me some stuff. We'll review it on the show, and I may do like a quick review. It's not going to be me throwing it. It's just going to be a quick, hey, this is the product. Here's my thoughts on it. I'll play with it, of course, and give you my opinion. I always recommend that you go get your own opinion on the products, but take my opinion more seriously. So Scottish Lad, there you go. All right, so back to Luke here. I'm going to assume that you're living under a rock if you don't know anything about this young man. If you play darts or watch darts, and I am actually very amazed at how many darts players reach out to me or touch base with me, or that I've seen at tournaments that I've been at, that don't know the PDC, don't watch it, don't care about it. And I understand we live in our kind of our worlds, and in we live with the group that we're hanging out with. But if you're playing the sport, you might as well know something about it. So understanding what's going on with the PDC, understanding what's going on with the CDC here in America. Speaking of which, there were some of the guys there, at least Danny played today. Unfortunately, he did not get through the first round. I didn't see any of the other guys there for today. So hopefully tomorrow we'll see them. But Luke Littler to be... I mean, think about what he's done this year. He won Youth World Champion, made it to the finals of the World Championship, and really had an opportunity to win that. Humphreys didn't stuff him in a box type of thing. Like, Humphreys had to work for it, and we really saw this kid that could be world champion at this moment in time, and he was 16. He's 17 now. He won his first tournament coming out of the box. He won his first Players' Championship coming out of the box. He's hit a 9-darter on TV already. The accomplishments are great for this young man. The expectations, of course, are high. What are your thoughts on this? And I apologize, I'm not interviewing someone for this. I just wasn't. We were out of country. To be blunt, we were actually in the Bahamas I'm wearing my sweatshirt from the Bahamas this past week. It was spring break. We took the kids, my parents, who footed most of the bill, thankfully, and thank you, parents, for doing that. We went down to the Bahamas and spent the week at Atlantis. I looked for some dartboards, didn't see any. It was great, but that's why I didn't put up an episode last week. Wasn't able to, and I know I'm kind of going off script here. I tried to do something, but just the service there in Atlantis didn't really allow me to access much from an internet perspective. My son couldn't play Fortnite, so it was like, that is kind of Dylan's thing right now is Fortnite. So anyway, back to Mr. Luke Littler. Just an incredible phenom. And I'm really hoping to have this conversation later in the year as he does more. We'll get someone, maybe Jen, or we'll get someone on the show that can talk a little bit more with another perspective. But he is here's my thoughts and take on this. This kid's going to do phenomenal for the next couple of years. And I think I mentioned this 2 weeks ago. He's going to do well because he has nothing else right now. I mean, he's getting as much in the limelight and as many cameras and mics jammed in his face, if not more, than Luke Humphreys, than anybody else currently. MVG, even though he's been on a tear, probably isn't getting as much press as Luke is getting. Luke is getting it all, and for a good reason. I think when I say Luke, I'm sorry, Littler, because there's Humphreys. Humphreys should be getting more, and he's been playing well at the first stretch of the year and will definitely get some accolades of being world champion. But Littler's going to take the majority of it this year as long as he continues to progress throughout things. If he takes a dive and a dump this year because of the pressure and the stress and just, all that goes on in being a professional at the PDC level, the travel, all that happens, if his handlers can't handle everything that's going on around him, he could take a very good dump later this year. I think he should take a break at some point. I think he should step back and go, hey, let me take a little time off. I didn't see that he was playing today. So maybe he is taking some time off, but step back a little, get back into it. Definitely hit the televised stuff that he needs to. And he'll do well. But I think over the next couple of years, we're going to see this kid progress, and he's going to do well. We're going to see him win some majors. We may see a world title possibly next year, the year after more or less, and then the year there. And then he's going to get into his 20s. Let's be honest. If he hit the gym, he's going to pick up a girl quicker. If he doesn't, he's going to pick up a nice lady because he's got a nice bankroll. It's just the way of the world, and I'm going to speak it truthfully. He's going to pick up some nice young lady, and hopefully she's there for the right reasons, not just the cash flow, but for him, and that'll be good. I think MVG has an incredible wife. That match is done really well. They have a good relationship. They've got the kids. MVG, as I said years ago, took a dive because of the kids and the family. It's just how it goes. He's climbing back up, and I think MVG is going to be fierce over the next couple of years. I think he's going to really go after it. But you got this kid now. You got this kid that has nothing else other than darts. It's just what he's got. And I think he's just going to go after it. He's going to crush it. He's going to do well. He's going to get into that relationship, just like MVG come mid-20s. And we're going to see him tanker off a little. It's what happens. It's life. He's going to tanker down a little and then probably come back. He's going to do that same trajectory. And that's my guess. I'm stepping back now. So like in 10 years, we can have this conversation and see how right I am or how wrong I am. But I'm going to put it out there now. I think the next 2 years are his. I think MVG is going to be in the mix. It's going to be the two of them. But this kid is going to do well until relationship comes in, and that pull away from darts is going to happen. Unless he says, dude, I'm just going to ride this out until I'm 30. Because, he's 17. He could easily go the next 13 years and crush and then say, okay, it's time for a chick now, a lady, a girl, maybe Fallon's available. There you go. Match made in heaven. Can you imagine their kids? Ooh, you should be in her 30s. Could work. We see that happen. That'd be interesting. Like the king and queen of darts. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. What do you guys think? I'm going to read some comments real quick and answer. Do you swim with the pigs? Did you swim with the pigs? Goes to no, I did not. I didn't see any pigs at Atlantis. We looked at swimming with the dolphins, but it was like $400 and some odd dollars. I keep bouncing my desk. I'm sorry about that, guys. It makes the video horrible. I apologize. We looked at it. We really thought about it. My daughter was like, and she was the one that was like, that's too much money. I was like, all right, we ain't doing that then. So, but we did see some really cool stuff. If you guys are on my Facebook, actually, my wife posted some photos. You can see how bad I look during that trip. Man, I looked bad. I felt really good. Whew, dude, like I got back and did a little workout and stuff and feel much better. But I was looking not so good during our picture day, which was right at the end of our trip. But we had a really good time, and I'm going to post some photos of like the cool stuff we saw. So there we go. Answer that question. Refreshing new entertainment. That is the truth. It's nice to see this youth here. I hope that we need it here in the U.S. We need a Luke from the U.S. to step up. That's a teenager that blows up in the sport, because just like every other sport, that we get a youth player that does really well. Bryce Harper, well, baseball was already big, but that helps. You get these players these youths that do things within, LeBron, I'm not a fan of his, but LeBron, that do this stuff. They get this following, and of course it increases the eyes within the game. So we need to find our own Luke Littler or create him. Maybe we can $6 million man, a darts player that'll crush for us. But I think that'd be good. Let's see what William says here. Anytime anyone comes into a sport and can relight a fire to it and gain massive exposure will always be a good thing. The question will be if he will get burnt out from the media attention. I totally agree. Will that be the issue now? If you've watched some of the interviews with some of the other dart players, MVG, Rob Cross, MVG has come out and said, look, media, back off. Leave him alone. Like, I went through this. Like, you guys need to, give this kid some breath, give him some room so that he can play darts and understand what's going on and kind of feel this out. So I think he's got support within the players that will seriously help him to grow in this sport. I think, and we see this in other sports, but I think in this particular sport, we're really going to see a lot of these players help him come along to maintain being one of the best darts players ever. Bar none, will be one of the darts players ever. The thing I see in youth darts is they have no fear and their mental is relentless. This is coming from Eric. Damn millennials. Ain't that the truth? All choked up about it. All right, and just to clarify, Eric did throw out there, I'm not saying there ain't any perks in being good at darts. Wink, wink. Again, I'm excited for this kid. I love Asp's reaction to the 9-darter. Just, you can see, like, other darts players are excited to watch this kid play. I mean, would Gerwin Price have jumped up and down and been excited for him? Probably not. Would Gary Anderson? Definitely not. Probably would have been excited. But I don't know anybody else would have jumped up and down. Asp was just, excited for this kid, man, who's putting it up and put up a 9-darter. And but I love his comment, like, dude, that was hold or throw. Like, you started, you should win that one. It's hold or throw. Let's get to the game. But Luke Littler did win the tournament, so he got the trophy at the end of the check. So he did something right? But I love that aspect of the excitement that other darts players have for this kid. Ryan Searle, being very impressed with the ability that he had and the ability that he had coming into his first, tournament. So, or Players Championship round tournament, whatever you want to call it. So the fact that his first two major events within the PDC outside of the World Championship, but he turned pro basically because of that. He got his tour card. He became pro due to all of that. He wins the next two events, and he's done pretty well since then. He's lost some. Day two or Players Championship 2, the next day he lost, I think, round 1 to like a 65th ranked player. So he's not perfect. He is going to lose some. He's lost some to some of the other players coming up to this point. So again, excited to see this kid go, excited to see what he does. And we'll jump off him. And Charlie mentioned that Luke and Nathan are on the same management company as well. And that's good for Luke, is to have a good management company behind him. So excited to see that. Excited to see where he goes. Guys, keep an eye out for him. If you've been under a rock in the darts community and you're not sure what I'm talking about, go watch some stuff about this kid and keep an eye out, because if you're betting, that's the easy bet right there. That's what I'm going to say. Oh, I don't need these anymore. I don't know why I got those on. I had them on for the video. I don't need them in anymore. I'm not talking to anybody. Speaking of which, I'm hoping to have an interview for next Monday, so keep an eye out on that one. I've got a couple people I need to reach out to that have said that they would happily jump in and do an interview with me. I want to bring back some of the old cast from a few years ago that have done some interviews, and we're going to get in some new folks. So working on that so you guys don't have to just sit here and hear me ramble on about darts, but we can ask some questions of other people that actually know a thing or two about darts. So I'm not even wearing any darts paraphernalia right now. I'm wearing a disc golf hat, and I'm wearing an Atlantis Bahama sweatshirt. I need to buy some more of my darts hats, which I'll do this week, and then we'll have some for sale. I got to figure out how we're going to do that, because the Atomic Darts website is down as far as I know. I haven't looked in a while, but I don't believe it's up anymore. But we'll put something up where you guys can buy the hats, because I do get asked in regards to a couple of the hats that we had, and I need to talk in regards to trying to get some shirts back available. If anybody wants a player shirt, because I do have some, they're over there on the hanging up. I just didn't throw one on. So, all right. Some other things I want to just rush by you guys, just to remind you. Come on, there we go. We have the Cross Borders Darts Challenge coming up in April 12th and 13th. This again is put on by CDC, or the Champion Darts Corporation, and there'll be some really good class players from Canada and from America there, as you can see on that poster. Of course, there'll be plenty more there. So if you want to go check that out, it will be on PDC TV. So you can, if you've got a subscription, you can watch it. I think they're going to have weekly subscription just for that one tournament, so you can watch that. So keep an eye out for that. Again, that's April 12th and 13th. And we're going to just keep with the championship darts circuit. And here's kind of a list of what they've got coming. May, July, August, September, and then October. Little Stowe Bunsey there. Danny there. Jim Long. Love Jim Long. I actually got to interview him at one point, so maybe we can bring him back on. Interview Danny. Unfortunately, Danny wasn't able to do video that particular day, and it was just in audio, but it was still a cool interview there. I think things have changed for him quite a bit, but maybe we Stowe on as well. Be a lot of fun. He's a shot guy, so maybe I can work that deal out. But again, there is some upcoming stuff. And all right. So in this segment of this, I'm supposed to be talking about a dartboard where we're going to look at the Colonial board that is available from A to Z Darts. It's still beginning of the season as far as getting into darts for a lot of people. if you need a new dartboard, I recommend checking out A to Z. And of course, the Colonial board is really a nice board. It does have the razor wire. I will have it with me next week, and we'll actually take a good in-depth look at it. I've played on one, and this is a newer one that I've gotten. I got my hands on, and it looks great. Yeah, a nice board. The style is phenomenal on it. It really is nice. Of course, there are higher end boards, but for $50, I think is what they're going for, something like that, $45, $50. It's really a nice board, especially from a practice standpoint, if you don't want to be eating up your board too much. Just depends on how you play and how often you play and how much you're doing it, whether it's worth getting into that. So, well, guys, that's it for tonight. I know it's kind of a short show. I apologize for that, but I'm still whooped in regards to coming back from the Bahamas. We came back Saturday. It is Monday, and it has been a blast. Kids were at school today and just still trying to get back into it. So with that said, I just want to thank everybody for jumping on and checking out the show tonight. We will have more next week. We will have the board in-house. I'm going to bring it tomorrow and make sure that it's here. It'll sit here all week so that we can take a look at that board. Again, the format of the show is really supposed to be talking about what's going on in the darts world, interview, product review, or product review, interview, whatever way I can keep your eyes glued to your screens to watch this. But all right, guys, if you know of any tournaments that are coming up, please feel free to email me, atomicdarts@gmail.com, atomicdarts@gmail.com, putting it in the chat here on YouTube. Should hit Facebook there as well. So yeah, if you know of anything coming up, just throw it on there. I'll mention it so that we can keep everybody abreast as to what's going on in the darts community. Everybody, love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming back and watching the show. We're gonna have more. We're gonna have some fun. We'll have an interview next week for sure. Other than that, really appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful night. See you next week.